What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel, and I want to talk about UFC 304. The main event, it was Leon Edwards versus Belal Muhammad. Belal Muhammad took the win. He is the new welterweight champ, and it was just a very surprising win to me. I did not see Belal Muhammad winning. I was rooting for Leon Edwards. I thought Leon Edwards had this in the bag. Not for a moment am I saying that it was going to be an easy fight, that I thought it was going to be easy for Leon to win. I knew it wasn't going to be easy because Belal Muhammad had made it clear, made it no secret that he had been training with the likes of Khabib Nurmagomedov and his team, and his plan of attack was obviously going to be very grappling heavy, very wrestling heavy, taking down Leon Edwards and effectively taking his stand-up skills, his stand-up away from him, which is his best weapon. And he did just that. Within the first round, he took Leon Edwards down, and it looked very easy, man. Leon Edwards was quickly breathing hard. He was already sweating profusely. He looked a little bit tired. He looked nervous, tentative. I just, thought that Leon Edwards was going to be ready for this strategy. And he kind of was, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. But what was most surprising was that Belal outstruck Leon Edwards, and I couldn't believe my eyes. It was like Leon Edwards just forgot his stand-up skills, his footwork, the distance, all of that was gone. He was defending, he was blocking at one point in a very weird way, very it looked amateurish. I don't know how to say it, man. He looked green. It's like he forgot his stand-up skills, and maybe it was that fear of being taken down again that it affected his thinking. It affected his concentration, and it's just his stand-up was terrible. It was a garbage performance, to be honest. I'm just being honest here. I'm not putting down Leon Edwards. Obviously, that guy is a great fighter, but he did not show up last night, and man, it cost him. It cost him a championship. I thought he was gonna be a long reigning welterweight champ. Obviously, that's not happening anymore. And I only say this without dissing. I'm not gonna hate on Leon Edwards. I mean, the guy was undefeated for 9 years. 9 years. What were you doing 9 years ago? Think about it. For 9 years, this guy has been fighting, and nobody had beaten him. And then he fought the likes of Kamaru Usman, who was one of the most dominant welterweight champions in the world in UFC, and he beat him twice. He beat Colby Covington, he beat Nate Diaz, Vicente Luque. I mean, the opposition, the road to his championship was hard, man. It was hard. He earned it. He was a true, legit champ. But last night, Belal Muhammad took all of that away from him. And you could see the frustration in Leon Edwards' coach, his coaching. They told him he just didn't show up, and it was just the worst performance of his life. And when it counted the most for him to perform good, he didn't. And I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. So I'm left with no choice but to give Belal Muhammad props. He did his homework. He followed the instructions, the Khabib Nurmagomedov book of attack, and he by no means was he Khabib dominant last night, because several times on the ground, when he did manage to take Leon Edwards to the ground, Leon Edwards was able to reverse positions, and he even dominated on the ground the third round. But it was just boring, because these two guys are not jiu-jitsu guys. They are not submission specialists. So that made the fight pretty boring, pretty lackluster, to say the least. It was just a boring fight, boring main event, and I felt bad for the Manchester crowd. You know, they're rooting for their hero, their champion, and this guy just came out and just disappointed everybody, and effectively he loses the fight. And no offense to Belal, he works hard, he's a good fighter, he's athletic and all of that, and you know what he did is not easy. Props to him, but he's you know, his style is boring, his personality, I'm not into it. Hopefully, you know, he'll change my mind as a champion. He doesn't get hurt, he defends that belt several times, and maybe he becomes the fighter that Kamaru Usman was, you know, the champion that Kamaru Usman, because Kamaru, I remember him being criticized for having a boring style, but maybe, and that changed throughout the times, and he became one of the most exciting champions. He knocked people out, he was very dominant, and maybe Belal is on his way to doing that. That's my thoughts on the fight. Pretty much very surprising turn of events. We got a new welterweight champ. I don't know what's next for Leon Edwards. Just, you know, his team must be very disappointed. I know he probably very disappointed on himself. What are you gonna do? That's the sport of MMA. MMA is not WWE. It's not all about the entertainer. You know, at the end of the day, it has to do with your performance. It has to do with who's the better fighter, who implemented the better game plan, who had the more grit and the more determination. And last night, it was Belal Muhammad. Congratulations to the guy, new welterweight champ. And those are my thoughts, guys. Yeah, the fight, I mean, just if you ask me what moment stood out, not many, man. I mean, just it was just, you know, a grappling heavy fight, and you know, the submission attempts that Belal had were pretty lame, to be honest, and the submission attempts that Leon Edwards attempted were lame as fuck too. It was just garbage main event. Sorry to be negative, but just yeah, very disappointed. Anyways, those are my thoughts, guys. Give me likes or give me dislikes. Subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and let me know what you thought of this fight. Thank you. Peace.